your job.
Put the gun down before you kill someone.
Teenage Girl's Diary.
Hello and welcome to another Dollar Store Drive-In. I'm your host, Laura.
I'm Joel.
And we're the Newly Dads. And we are coming at you with another episode where we watched a movie. And it happens to be a Christmas-themed movie.
Ho, 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 ho.
Because it is that time of year.
'Tis the season to be scary.
Scary. Creepy.
We didn't even plan that.
No.
Nope.
And creepy.
And Creepmas.
If this is your first time watching, welcome. If this is not your first time watching, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. This is a half-hour chat show where we do discuss a movie that we've watched. Usually it's the night or two nights, in this case, before. And we've got some criteria for that movie. The first thing is the movie that we watch needs to be under $5. It needs to be horror themed or sci-fi or thriller genre. And it needs to be a movie that neither of us have ever seen before. And you'd be surprised.
Son, look around. Would I be surprised?
He's watched thousands of movies. I would have figured he's watched them all by now, but they just keep on coming.
They keep on coming.
It's great. If you're enjoying this show, you can find more of us if you go to our website, which is thenewlydads.com, where you can see all of the content that we have. This show is on there. We've got a YouTube channel where we talk about different things as far as like opening or unboxing. Oh, I was going to say opening things. Unboxing videos. We've got Sinister Snacks videos where we talk about snacks that we, like. Everything that we do usually has a spooky kind of theme behind it, because that's just our life. We also have a blog that it is on our website. So I talk about different small business related type things. Some of them are local, some of them are not.
Mm-hmm.
And they run the gamut from, content creators sometimes, people who have their own little, small business or side business that they're trying to get some exposure. We also do, or I should say he does reviews on movies. And sometimes I do caffeinated reviews, which is coffee blog posts that I need to get on because I've only done a couple. But yeah. This is not our full-time job, obviously. We both have full-time jobs that we do, so sometimes that interferes with the fun things that we like to do in life. But that's enough about us and more about the movie that we watched. This week, we watched Granny Krampus. We found this 2-disc thing at Walmart. And it actually was $10, but it has 2 movies on it. So I figured it's $5 per movie. And that's how we got in our little, made sure we're following the rules here.
And we decided for Christmas that we were going to do an entire month of Christmas movies / a Christmas spooktacular. For the last show, we're going to talk about our favorite, holiday Christmas horror stuff. Yeah, either things that we love, things that we think you should check out. Oddities, things like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like our Halloween spectacular that we did.
Yeah.
And we were going to do 3 movies, but actually last week's was a holiday movie. So we're kind of doing 4. And so it's a 5-week deal.
You get a bonus movie.
Bonus.
Holiday season never ends.
And this is not to be confused with 2015 Michael Dougherty's Krampus.
Yes. This is Granny Krampus.
Do not confuse it.
And there is another, Krampus the Return on here, but we haven't watched that one yet.
We will get to it, though, before the end of the season.
Yes, we will. One last little piece of housekeeping. We do record this show out of our house. So if you are watching us, you will see dogs and stuff like that pop up. Bailey has joined us, as he usually likes to do, on Pawpaw's lap over here. You'll see Shaggy sometimes popping up. He was over here a second ago scratching his head. This is actually a podcast also, though. So if you're listening to us, thank you for doing that. We usually upload it through Spotify, and then it is spread out, I think, wherever you can find, your Spotify or your podcast needs. Joel's laughing right now because we have a Yeti between us, and Bailey thinks it's a toy, so I know he wants to play with it.
From the Rankin and Bass.
Yeah, from
What are you doing? He wants me to
Rudolph
pet
the
him, apparently.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Was that what it was from?
I think so.
There's
yeah.
a whole series of those, and I can never remember which ones. It's like
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to do that.
town that almost for like
Yeah,
Christmas that never.
I think
don't
it's
know.
from Rudolph.
And Rudolph, Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah.
Happy birthday! You know,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Maybe he's from that. No, I think he's
I don't
from
think so.
Rudolph. Yep, Rudolph. It says it on his butt. And now he's going to go inside the pumpkin. Anyways, so I'm going to read the synopsis of Granny Krampus. So that way you can get an idea of what we watched. And then we'll play the trailer for you. And then we've got some notes. Joel has more notes than I do.
We have things to say.
Yes. I am going to read, there's a little blurb on the top of this too that doesn't really, I mean, it kind of talks about just the DVD in general. And then I'll get into the little synopsis thing. So it knows you've been naughty. Wrap your presents, roast some chestnuts, and lock your doors. It's time to settle in for a long winter's fright with a double feature of holiday movie. Oh, no, sorry, holiday horror.
Oh,
It sounds better than holiday movie.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Home Alone and
Yes.
something
So
else.
the synopsis, on a double disc is usually kind of small. So I wanted to read all of the things on here.
Short.
Yeah. So Granny Krampus. An estranged family is brought together at their old family home for Christmas, but quickly find themselves at the mercy of a nightmarish entity from the past. The end.
Cousin Eddie?
It could be Cousin Eddie.
Oh, we'll find out. You'll find out here in a minute.
We'll find out in a second. All right. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and pause it for a second, and we will be right back with you.
Nothing like a road trip for sisters, eh?
Gosh, look at you. I haven't seen you since you were small.
Why don't you go and have a look round the house? And how have you both been?
Still processing, I guess.
That's why I had to bring you here. Well, this is what Christmas is all about. One big happy family.
Leia! Just a picture that was tucked in this book. Frau perched her.
She would know whether children had behaved or not.
Like Father Christmas.
Legend has it, children were being taken. The parents who discovered it was a local woman. And the parents decided to take the law into their own hands.
They killed her. This is insane. A Christmas ghost. You're gonna have to do better than that.
It's not silly, not around here. This area, this town.
What are you doing?
Are those Christmas lights?
What's that?
It's too late for the others. The children will pay for the sins of their parents.
Welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed that little trailer that Mr. Newly Dead put together for you. I know I sure did. I'm watching it with you. Fun.
There might be flatulence.
Probably flatulence. He likes the farts.
So whenever we watch a movie, I'll take notes, and that way we have a little bit of a little roadmap to the discussion. And in the course of that, I'll draw pictures, and then at the end of the year, as your Christmas gift, I guess, from us, you'll get a little flip book that Mrs. Newly Dead will put together with all of my notes from the year. that includes all the pictures, all the things that I wrote, information about the film. So if you're interested, you can go check out 2023's on our website that was previously mentioned. But this week,
he drew a sad snowman with no arms and no legs. And it says, happy birthday. A gift.
Yep.
And that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
I surprisingly, even though this movie was kind of, we'll get to that, I found myself not really drawing much. I don't know why. Weird. Sometimes it's like all over the place, and sometimes it's just a little bit.
It's not in the mood.
I guess not. After I do the snowman, I'm like, I can't do any better than that.
It was pretty cute. He doesn't have a hat on or anything. He's a little bald snowman.
He's just hanging out.
A little sad face.
So Granny Krampus is actually from 2024. I'm guessing it was filmed last year, but it was released this year. Currently sitting at 3.2 out of 10 on the Internet Movie Database, which seems to be kind of our baseline for most of the content we watch on this channel. This channel? No, we're not on YouTube currently. On the channels that we are on, which you can find on our website.
Yes.
But this was directed by Jack E. Bell, which, fun fact, if you go to the Internet Movie Database, it does not list a director. I had to look it up. I had to actually hunt to track down the actual name of the director. I think it says on the box. But I thought that was interesting that the director did not want their name or doesn't have their name on the credits for the film, which is unusual. So Jackie Bell actually has done some other things that we have discussed previously on the show. Not that we've watched them, but they've come up in other things because I believe this was an ITN. Is that right?
This is an ITN, yes.
Yes, which our friends at ITN have provided us with lots of movies over the course of this show. We're actually coming up on our 2-year anniversary soon. So,
looks like, oh wait, that's the director of photography. This is like really bad font back here.
It was weird. So Jack E. Bell is known for Curse of Humpty Dumpty 2, not to be confused with the original Curse of Humpty Dumpty. Dinosaur Hotel 2, also not to be confused.
Oh, it does say Jack E. Bell right here.
Okay, good. So it is on the box.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Dinosaur Hotel 1, and something called Honey Trap.
Honey Trap.
Honey Trap.
That sounds dangerous.
Right? So this was written by Christopher Jolly, which
Yep.
I wonder if that is a pseudonym because
It says Chris Jolly on the back.
I mean, it's a Christmas movie, so, to have somebody named Jolly that's writing the movie,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit sus in my opinion, but who knows? He is known for Alfred the Doll, which after Chucky and Annabelle and there was a whole slew of killer doll movies that came out, Robert and a bunch of other ones. So I'm assuming that's what that was kind of a riff on. A movie called Dollhouse, which again, killer dolls are always in demand, and something called Scare Attraction, which looked like something we would probably get around to reviewing at some point.
Sounds
on this
good
show.
to me.
So this stars one Claudia Adlam, who was in Ghosted, which there was a show called Ghosted, but it's not that, not the Adam Scott, Craig Robinson show,
I like that show.
but Ghosted, just a movie. Little English, and a short movie, and that's it. Like they have a very, very small resume. This also stars Jodie Bennett, who was in The Mutation. I don't think is a sequel or prequel to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I don't think. And a bunch of short films. You're going to notice that a lot of these people don't have other credits. And the final person I was going to mention was Poppy Castleton, which I just thought was a great name.
That is.
Who was in a movie called Sunfall. And that's it. They were in this and Sunfall. And that's it. I think they're kind of new to the game. And so they probably will have more credits as time goes on. So as I said, this was an ITN distribution film, which it's been a while since we've done this. And I forgot to say at this point, my wife turns to me and says,
"What'd you think?"
I was zipping right ahead there. So first of all, as I said, we're doing a Christmas spooktacular. So we wanted to have all Christmas-based movies, and it kind of was spawned because of finding this. So first of all, this doesn't feel very Christmassy.
Yeah, it really didn't.
I mean, it clearly takes place at Christmas time. Like they tell you that it's a Christmas movie. They go to, their parents' house or whatever, their grandmother's house is it, I think. And her brother, they share a home together.
Yep.
And they go there for the holidays. And so you kind of get a little bit of Christmas, but you got
2 sisters.
Yes. And you get a lot more Christmas in last week's movie that we discussed, The Night Sitter, than you did in this. It was a very slow movie, which we'll get to more about that in a minute. It felt a lot more like a drama than a horror film.
Mm.
And it kind of felt like, I used the word dirge because it just kind of was just plodding along really slow, like not much happened. And during the course of the movie, I'm like, you've got 2 grandmas and 0 Krampuses. Which
Just like a hint of Krampus.
just right, like a whiff of Krampus.
Yeah, like a
And then at the 25-minute mark into the film,
Krampus.
Krampus. And not just Krampus,
Granny Krampus.
Granny Krampus. So I put on here that there was a scene where, and we're going to give away spoilers. I'm sorry, this is a brand new film, but we're not recommending you watch this, I don't think.
But if you want to, you can buy it at Walmart.
You can. It is readily available. I couldn't find it online though, so I don't know. I'm sure you could stream it, but to buy, like, it wasn't online that I could see. At least not as readily available or as inexpensive. Anyway, there's a scene where a character, we won't tell you who dies and who lives, but a character gets choked to death by Christmas lights. And first of all, if you get choked, I don't care if it's Christmas lights or some other implement, you're not going to start bleeding from your eyes and mouth, typically, and you're not going to start foaming at the mouth,
Yes.
typically. I don't know what caused this, like why this person started bleeding from all of their orifices
Mhm.
and
And
foaming, but it happened. So I early on started to think that Grandma in the film was Granny Krampus. Spoiler alert, she isn't. But it felt they kind of were leading you down that path.
Yeah, she's kind of evil.
Yeah, she's not a very good person. And I wrote that it was less like Granny Krampus and more like Granny Valium. And why would I say that?
Because I fell asleep.
She did. And to be honest, I was close because it's been a rough couple of months. And so, we're tired, a lot going on, not a lot of sleep happening, not as much as we should probably be getting. And so even if I get to that point where I feel like I'm going to fall asleep, it's not doing what it's supposed to do because I'll watch anything. I said this wasn't scary. It wasn't interesting. It wasn't well done. It wasn't smart. It just was something to watch. There also was another scene where a character gets stabbed by a candy cane. And just so you know, apparently candy canes are highly poisonous because it causes instant death in a matter of one stab. And we've seen people get stabbed with candy canes before, and it took some effort.
I mean, it's brittle.
Yeah, it's brittle. It's not. I mean, you can sharpen it.
It's candy.
But right, it's candy. I mean, it's like that whole like MythBusters thing about people using an ice bullet to assassinate people, that the bullet will melt, and
Right.
no
No harm, no foul.
Right. Nobody's gonna be like, how did they die? There's just this little puddle, and candy cane. They died from some sort of shock. So the girls go to their grandparents' house to celebrate the holidays. They get told this story about this woman who's, I think, supposed to be kind of a witchy type character or something, who gets killed, and she says she's going to seek revenge on the entire bloodlines of the people who wronged her. And so during the course of the time from when she was murdered to now, every year she comes back and she takes out an entire bloodline of a family. And I don't know that they really ever explained exactly how they determined. Do you want to look at the notes? How she chooses what bloodline? Because after she killed all the people that got rid of her, because she's been gone for a long time. I think she was killed back witch trial era.
Yeah.
Long time ago. So the people that she's after in this situation, which is the grandma, the brother, and the 2 girls, they weren't alive when she was killed.
Right.
So I don't know what the logic was there. So then Granny Krampus shows up, starts murdering people. They're trying to figure out how to survive, how to get away with it. And they find out that the grandma and the brother have been kind of tricking Granny Krampus into doing things so that they can survive and live to see another day. So that's the basic plot. I have a couple of things here to talk about, but I know before you fell asleep, did you have any thoughts on anything?
It was just really slow. I mean, like he said, it didn't actually start you didn't see a Krampus until 25 minutes in. I was periodically waking up and falling asleep kind of throughout it. So I did see the, choking of the Christmas light guy and like, that kind of thing. And yeah, so I mean, it was unremarkable. I would not say that this is my favorite go-to Krampus movie.
No.
Yeah, it was pretty boring.
If you want a Krampus movie, definitely check out the 2015.
Yeah.
That's
this is literally
pinnacle.
A snooze fest because I fell asleep.
And I've seen some other Krampus films. There's the Krampus the Reckoning, which if you ever want to see what Krampus looks like without pants on, that's the movie for you.
Nice.
And I'm not even joking. Like, it's in full display.
Oh.
Or if you want to see a buff Krampus that will kick the crap out of you, A Christmas Horror Story.
I love A Christmas Horror Story.
That's a good one for that. This one, however, at first I thought that it was a person in a mask that was just, perpetrating the murders, which it's not. It's actually a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a mythological creature that's doing it. Whenever she walks like 2 steps and then she taps her cane and then 2 steps. It's almost like a march. It's weird. But then when you finally see her face, it's clear that they used a kind of a masculine looking mask on this very kind of granny-esque looking woman or person. I don't know who they were exactly. But it doesn't look very convincing. Like, their hands are normal. They're wearing like fairly new like boots that you probably would find at, I don't know, where would you buy boots?
Yeah, just the store.
Yeah, just like
Walmart.
JCPenney boots, Walmart boots.
Yeah.
And like a Santa Claus suit, Mrs. Claus. And if I've seen a similar design to a character that wasn't a Krampus, and a friend of mine, Tony Escamilla, made a movie called Mrs. Claus, which, if you've not seen it, it's a good low budget horror movie about a woman who dresses like Mrs. Claus to kill a bunch of college kids. Worth your time. And so that's kind of what I thought they were going for. But in the end, I won't give away exactly how they get out of it, but a couple of people survive. And I was thinking as they were getting ready to leave, because the ending was just kind of like, I'm like, how are they going to explain this to the cops? Because there's like, I don't know, 6 or 7 dead bodies. And they're all killed in various pretty heinous ways. And, the people that get away, I mean, how do you explain that?
Yeah.
I've always wondered that in horror movies.
Every time. But
in this case, they literally like get in the car and off they go and just leave all the bodies there. That looks pretty sus.
Yeah, exactly.
And needless to say, they leave it open for a sequel, which I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Or
I
if
hope
it does,
that Return of Krampus is not it.
I don't think so. I think that's a
Krampus the Return.
I don't think so. I mean, you'll be reading that here soon enough. Not this next week. We're doing something different.
No.
But
no, it's definitely not.
Okay. The last thing I wrote here was that it's all about family I said it's all about family and a lack of good filmmaking.
And we always want to make sure that you guys like get that. Just because something's low budget doesn't mean we automatically hate it.
No.
We just happen to watch a lot of movies that are low budget and also low quality in some cases.
Just because you can make a movie doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. We always try to not to yuck people's yum, like if this is your jam and you're like, I'm all about all Krampus movies and I don't care, if it's slow moving or fast or whatever, like if you're entertained by it, good on you. I know it seems like every week we're like, yeah. But we've watched lots of low budget films that we absolutely just like adore. So
like last week, The Night Sitter, we thought that was going to be another movie like this, and we were
Night Sitter was
at how
great.
much we enjoyed it.
Yeah, great.
Was it great? No, but it was worth your time to
Yeah.
watch if you have an extra hour and a half.
Yeah.
And we like some movies that are, I mean, me especially, like some movies that are pretty vilified by the general public.
Yeah.
So if you are familiar with any of my reviews or any of our former shows, the things we've talked about, my former like podcasts and things, I love a lot of stuff that people don't like. And
Yeah.
so does she.
Yeah.
So we try to be fair. But anyway.
I think we're fair.
I think so.
Yeah.
For the most part. Yeah. Sometimes we get a little funky with it. That's we're like,
Yeah. And we love ITN.
We do. Thank you, Randy, for
Yeah.
providing us with other movies that I think we're almost out of. Speaking of which, we do have an Easter movie on that list that we need to make sure we get to this year because we didn't get
We
to it last year.
will.
Because we got to get to some Easter content. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Yes. So on a scale of the infinite whatevers to 5, candy canes.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
choice. So, I mean, if you can't guess, this is another, I mean, this has been a trend recently, but I have to give it just a flat 0 because I don't know that it was like the worst thing I've ever seen, but it also just was a thing that I watched and I don't need to ever see it again.
Because I fell asleep, I'm going to give it a -1.
We've done that a few times recently and I feel kind of bad about it, but things are going to turn around. I can feel it.
I know I fall asleep a lot, but you know,
It's all right. She doesn't all the time.
I don't seek out falling asleep by any means. Okay, so if they don't want to watch this movie, do you have one that you would recommend?
So I'm going the easy route here. We've already discussed it several times. We even talked about it last week, but I have to go with 2015's Krampus because, I mean, that really is kind of, if you like Trick or Treat and you've not seen Krampus, it feels like Christmas. It tastes like Christmas. It's funny. It's dark. Like, it's pretty apocalyptic at times. Like, there's points of that movie where I'm like, holy crap.
Bleak.
Yeah, it is bleak, but it is so good. The cast is great. Krampus is legit terrifying. We're coming back up ready. The design of the monster in that is just perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Like when I think Krampus, I think immediately of that Krampus.
Right. Which, if you've seen a Krampus in folklore and things like that, it looks very different from the version that they have in that movie. But
I like the big gaping mouth and like the dead eye kind of looking like creepy. Just, yeah, they did such a good job on that Krampus design.
They truly made the Anti-Claus because you can tell that it's wearing a suit because underneath it is, I think, what you traditionally think of. It's just wearing Santa's skin for a
Yeah, exactly.
It's terrifying.
It's so good. All right. So what are we watching next week? I can't blow this one up because there's another movie on here we have to watch.
Not yet. But we talked about this a couple weeks ago. So if you were watching the show, you already know where we're going with this. But we're back here again because we made a detour.
Oh, right. Silent Night, Bloody Night.
Yep. From
Yeah.
1972.
All right. This is short because there's 5 movies, I think, on here. So it's a real short
We're getting
synopsis.
close to the end of this collection, by the way.
Yep. All right. On the night before Christmas, grisly murders occur around a former insane asylum where a gruesome massacre took place 35 years earlier. I really wanted that to rhyme.
Yeah, I remember the last time I think you said something about that too. I
didn't.
love 70s, especially for like exploitation horror or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of the golden age of those films. Nowadays, they're still out there. They're just not as common. Kind of all no holds barred. So I have hopes that it's going to at least be entertaining. It may not be great, but I've heard about it for a long time, and people don't really think Christmas horror until Silent Night, Deadly Night, which wasn't until 1986, I think.
Yeah. Or Black Christmas.
Black Christmas really
That's
is
in the
kind of the
70s.
first. That was 1974.
Mm.
So this was 2 years before that. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure exactly how Christmassy it gets, but
Fingers
we'll find out.
crossed. I mean, it says on, it's right there in the title. It does say on the night before Christmas.
I'm curious. I'm excited because I thought we'd seen like the farthest back Christmas horror movies, and
There's
maybe not.
probably some more out there.
We will find out.
Let's keep looking. That's our goal.
It's me with binoculars or just my hands over my
Yes.
glasses. I don't know.
I have one more little piece of information
Oh, yeah.
too. I'm not sure when this will be airing. So yeah, I think
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now.
So we'll still be, it's the last show
Yeah.
before that happens.
We do have something coming up. It's called Holiday Shopping with Serial Killers. And that is where we will be vending. Oh, look at that. He did a little promo thing for it there. We will be vending where we are going to be selling our artwork and things that we created. Lots of ornaments and stuff like that. Spooky ornaments. And you can find that at Wolf Hollow on December 14th. So check it out if you are in the Illinois area, Northern Illinois area. We would love to see you. And you can come in and say, hello, I watch you on your show.
I saw you on the Redacted channel.
Yeah, we still haven't had anybody do that yet. So we would
No,
love it if you remembered and to come in and just give us a high five or something.
most of the people that watch us are in other states.
Yeah,
But we do know there are some local people that already know us. That's probably why they don't do it, because they already know
they
us.
already know us.
But If you've never met us before, there's your opportunity.
We'll give you a free sticker
And a crisp high five.
and a crisp high five.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. Happy holidays. And until next week.
Keep it cheap and creepy and a little bit jolly.
All right. Bye-bye.
Go look after your mother and sister. Where are you going?
I'm gonna finish this. Goodbye, Tom.
What am I?